Good afternoon. Earlier this year, our office joined with Lieutenant Governor Sears of Virginia to file an amicus brief in support of Students for Fair Admissions. I was proud to be a part of it, and Lieutenant Governor Robinson is proud to lend his name and his support to this effort to end the practice of racist and harmful preference policies. Now is the time to ensure that all students in our state and across the nation have the same access to higher education regardless of their race and ethnicity. Preferences for historically disadvantaged groups have been in place for decades, and gaps in college enrollment and achievement have now significantly declined. When the Supreme Court decided Grote v. Bollinger in 2003, it said that it expected the use of racial preferences would no longer be necessary in 25 years. Well, we're now coming up on the 20th anniversary since that decision, and we can now plainly see that the negative effects of racial preferences in admissions outweigh any good that they can do here in 2022. While it can be argued that these policies had a role in helping Black Americans to overcome persistent effects of racial discrimination in higher education in the past, those effects are becoming less impactful the further we as a people travel from the dark days of Jim Crow and state-sanctioned discrimination. Rather, they now function to unfairly discriminate against and deny opportunity to other ethnic and racial groups. Discrimination on the basis of race or ethnicity is immoral in all of its forms, and we can do better, and we have to do better. It is time to end these policies of racial preference for college admissions. Now is not the time to restrict any student's access to the highest quality and most rigorous education that they can handle, but instead to fight to see that everyone is given the same opportunity to challenge themselves and compete against their peers. In this age, our nation desperately needs our best and our brightest to be our most highly educated and most prepared to meet the challenges of a dynamic global economy. Our international competitors across the world in China, they aren't having the economic success that they're having because they're prioritizing diversity and equity and inclusion. Rather, they're rivaling the American economy because their priority is that their very best and brightest students are empowered to do great things and afforded the very best educational opportunities available. Admissions should be based solely on merit, ability, and achievement. And no matter how well-intended at the start, government policies and programs must be addressed when they begin to have negative and unintended consequences on our fellow citizens. The way to ensure the future success of higher education and for our workforce, our economy, my home state, our entire nation, is by encouraging our universities to select the best applicants not on the basis of the color of their skin, but on the basis of what those applicants have achieved and what they're capable of achieving in the future. The right to pursue happiness begins with a quality education, and that right is one that is guaranteed to us all. If disparities in educational outcomes continue to plague our communities, it should not be because deserving young people find the doors to the university unfairly closed to them. And we hope that the Supreme Court will look favorably on the arguments in our brief. Thank you for having us here today.